Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jesse Hildebrand, and it is so nice to be back with you for another adventurous school year. I am with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, and if you are joining us for the first time, we are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. And honestly, for most of you, it's your first time joining us this year. Welcome in. We did over 400 programs last year. We're going to do over 400 more this year. So much to explore and discover from some of the coolest scientists and explorers on planet Earth. Now, today, you guys are in for such a treat. I'm going to introduce our speaker in just a second. But I want to note for all of you, for all 877 of you who signed up for today, we are going to have a little Kahoot together. So between the talk and the question period, we're going to play a little 4-question quiz and test your understanding, have a little bit of fun. So please feel free to pull that up in a separate tab on your computer. We'll do that in about 20 minutes or so. Now, for all of you, you are joining for such a perfect team because we are live at the Toucan Rescue Ranch in lovely Costa Rica. It's one of the most biodiverse places on this planet. We have joined the ranch over 50 times over our 10 years. They rescue, rehabilitate, and re-release injured wildlife, and they have a huge array of amazing animal ambassadors to showcase the incredible biodiversity of the special country that Costa Rica is. Today, we are going to do a deep dive in on sloths, which are the coolest animals, frankly. I know you guys are all as pumped about sloths as I am, and so without further ado, I am going to bring in Jaws to take us on a little journey out of the ranch. Jaws, welcome in today. Nice to have you all the way in Costa Rica.
Hey guys, how are you? Excited to be here.
You are good to go.
Oh
It
my
looks like
God.
it's a dreary day there, but we're going to go on a little adventure together in the rain.
Yes, exactly. It's a little bit raining, but no worries. Hopefully, thanks to the rain, we'll get some very, very active sloths right now. And I will turn around my camera so you get to see one of the permanent residents that we have around here at Toucan Rescue Ranch. Hold on. All right. So here at Toucan Rescue Ranch, we work with many animals, but one of the animals that we are working right now are the sloths. Actually, we have many programs that help us to work with these guys. And for example, in 2017, we began a program that is called Saving Sloths Together. And with this program, we have been able to take care and also help sloths that have become orphans. And hopefully, the main purpose of that program is to send them back into nature. But today, the first guy that you will meet is Georgie. Around here, Georgie is actually the biggest permanent resident of the sloths that we have here at Toucan Rescue Ranch. And oh, he dropped the flower. That's a snack time for him. So here in Costa Rica, we had two different species. We had the true-toes and the three-toes. However, here at Toucan Rescue Ranch, we actually like to use the word finger instead of toe because actually all these animals, which are 7 different species in Latin America, all of them have 3 toes in their feet, but the hands are the ones that make the difference. So here at Toucan Rescue Ranch, we had 2 fingers or 2-toed sloths, okay? So Georgie was that third one that we ever received here. Unfortunately, he came before the program that we began in 2017. He came around 2011. So he couldn't learn the skills necessary to go back to the wild. Let's say that he didn't go to school like you guys, that you are going to school today, for example. So he couldn't learn those skills to be back in the trees. But Georgie is an amazing ambassador for his species. Okay. And well, one thing that you need to know about the sloths is that they are very misunderstood animals, very interesting animals. One of the main things about them is that they have a very, very low metabolic rate, but that metabolic rate is mainly because they consume only leaves, okay? So the thing about the leaves is that 3 fingers, the other species that you're not seeing around here today, that one has that running mascara and smiley face. The 3 fingers, they only eat that. They're folivores. However, 2 fingers like Latte over here or Georgie over there, they can eat other things like flowers, fruits, vegetables, eggs even, or insects. So that's a huge difference between two different animals that look very, very alike. One interesting thing about them is that they use energy for very specific things. One of them is eating, another one is digestion. For example, it takes a whole month to do the digestion of a whole day. They eat every single day 2 pounds of food per day almost. So it takes a really, really huge amount of energy to do that process. What's another process that requires a lot of energy? Defending yourself, for example, contrary to what people think, these animals, because they have this lovely face and they look very cute, I grant you that one. Actually, they can be very dangerous. You see those claws that, for example, Milo is using right now to scratch himself. Those claws is an amazing tool to defense themselves from a predator, for example. But also in the case of two fingers, like Milo, like Helga, who is around here, they also have some sort of teeth that they look like canines, like fangs, and those teeth are a weapon to them. So that's another difference because in the case of tree fingers, they only have flat teeth, and that's why they can only consume things like leaves. They cannot eat things like eggs, for example. So very, very interesting animals. Another thing that they do or requires a lot of energy is pooping and peeing. Actually, these animals have a very, very weird set of skills, and they do everything on the trees, from sleeping to giving birth to babies to teach the babies how to survive. But one of the things they do on the ground, actually the only thing that they do on the ground, is pooping and peeing, which is a very, very weird thing. Okay, so in the case of these animals, they only go once per week to the bathroom in the general case, twice per week in the best metabolisms. And in the worst scenario, sometimes some of them go once every 2 weeks, okay? So that requires a lot of energy. A very cool thing about this energy consumption they have is that in the case when they go to the bathroom, they can lose between a 20 to 30% of their body weights in one go. So it is very, very efficient when it comes to energy. So you see a lot of activity, they're moving a lot. The reason why they're moving so much when it's raining is because imagine that they wouldn't be here in captivity. They're in captivity because they're permanent residents, they cannot go back to nature. But in a tropical rainforest, like in Costa Rica, it rains a lot, like right now it's doing. Uh, Having a lot of water on top of your fur, it's a lot of extra weight. And that's very, very bad because with that extra weight, you can fall very easily from trees. Or better say, the branches will easily collapse under that weight. So they start moving a lot to drop that extra water, and also to drop that water helps them to not be that cold. Oh, you saw those teeth that Helga showed? Okay, so Helga, Milo over here, and also, well, Landon. Let me show you Landon. Oh, I'm going to show you a very special thing before showing you Landon. Georgie went to the bathroom, and he's focused on that bathroom thing. You see that concentration phase? It requires so much energy that some experts say that they get in some sort of trance
Yeah.
state when they're in the bathroom. So he is doing that very, very serious business right now.
Joss, I just want to say it's been about 2 years since we've had a video of this, and they look so satisfied when this is happening. It's so unusual.
Well, there you go. You were very, very lucky today that Georgie needed to go to the restroom today. So, guys, any questions? Something else you would like me to tell you? Because there's a lot of things to talk about the sloths. And here, for example, for you to know, one of the things that we have with the permanent residents is that every single of them became orphan babies. One of the main threats for these animals is habitat fragmentation and destruction. So we receive a lot of babies whose moms died because of an electrocution, or they were hit by cars, or they were attacked by dogs, for example. So in some cases, we know what happened to them. In some cases, we don't know what happened to them. For example, we don't know what happened to Georgie's mom. And when he got here, he was a tiny baby, weighing only 400 grams. And 15 years later, is the biggest of the sloths that we have right now. Actually, I'm going to show you a lateral view of the pooping um, thing. You see, he's massive, and he already finished. So he's already done with that very, very delicate matter of going to the bathroom this week. Thank you, Georgie, for that. Let me show you here Latte. Actually, Latte, for example, we don't know what happened to her mom. And Latte was part of the first generation of babies that went through the whole program. But for example, in some cases, even though we try to do our best so we can send them back into nature, they fail the program. They drop out university, to put it in some sort of way. And Latte dropped out the college part of the program twice. In the first try, she was very tolerant of humans, so she was always coming back to the volunteer house that we have at the release site. And then in the second try in 2019, when we tracked her down, we found out that Latte was actually losing weight. That means that she was not being independent because she was waiting for someone to hear something to eat. So, well, maybe Latte is also going to the bathroom too. Oh my God, you're very lucky today. So any questions, guys? Something else you would like to know?
Yeah. Well, Josh, what we might do is dive in with our Kahoot, see how much kids were listening for those first 15 minutes or so, and then we'll dive into a really long Q&A because we've got so many kids today. So kids, get your questions ready. What I'm going to do right now is dive in with our little 4-question quiz. If you want to pull up this game pin below, please feel free to do that. If you just want to yell out the answers in your class, that's totally fine too. But let's get underway with this. And then Miss Nielsen, you are going to be our first class 4 questions. YouTubers, if you want to start sharing yours on YouTube now, feel free to do that. But let's dive in. And Josh, if you want to help us out with any of these answers, you can give us a little hint if you'd like to.
All right, great.
Nice. We also really appreciate you hanging out in a rainstorm. This is what makes a rainforest, but sometimes it's really wet weather. All right, kids, let's do this. For those who are new to Kahoot, the faster you answer, the more points you get. And what you win is Josh and I's everlasting respect. So let's do this thing and dive in. All right. Question 1, where can sloths be found? Where are we now? We talked about this at the beginning. Are we in Asia today, Africa, Central South America, or Australia? What country is the Toucan Rescue Ranch, and where can you find it on a map? I'll give you the hint that it's Costa Rica. Where's Costa Rica, folks? 2 more seconds. Let's see. Oh, most of you got this right. Yes, Central South America. Way to go. That is where sloths are located. And Costa Rica in particular is a very special place. Dynamic Chicken has our lead. We go to question 2. Sloths use the bathroom several times a day. They're constantly going. What do we think? We just learned this a minute ago. All right. True or false? 47 of you have your answers, and there's so many of you. What an epic Kahoot. Awesome. 6 more seconds. False. So it is not true. It's false. It's about once a week. Imagine only going once a week. That's why it's so rare that we have one on camera doing what we just saw a second ago. All right, let's go to question 3. Joss has also disappeared on us. We need to get her back. It makes it more fun when the speaker sticks around, I find. Lovely Gator takes our lead as we go to question 3. Let's see. Sloths can actually have moss grow on their fur. True or false? Sloths are known for being pretty slow, but so slow that stuff grows on them? I don't know. Let's find out. Come on in. Let's see. 5 more seconds. Almost 60 of you in. Nice. 60 answers so far. That's fantastic. True. So yes, sloths have actually been found with their whole own little ecosystem in their fur, moss and little insects growing in the fur. It's absolutely wild. It's such a cool creature. There's nothing else quite like them on Earth that way. All right. We're going to go into our final question, and then we will dive back in with Joss, who just joined us again. See, sometimes in torrential downpours in Central America, we have connectivity issues, but we're going to get her back. All right, sloths make great pets, and everyone should get one. We didn't talk about this too much, but this is a very important message. I hope we all have a good answer for this. And what I might do is have Joss answer this, depending on how we get our answers. So Most of you thought false. That is correct. Joss, I'm going to bring you back in. Hello, welcome back.
Hi guys. So, well, I'm glad that you are touching this topic because they are terrible pets. Remember that I told you that they had those claws, but also in the case, for example, of two fingers, they had those pseudo cannons, like they look like fans, and they're very, very sharp. Actually, to what people, even though they believe that they make a really good pet because they have these lovely faces, actually they're very aggressive and very, very dangerous. They can make a lot of damage if they want. And well, actually they get stressed very, very easily. They really don't want to be touched. Every time that they get touched by something, they think that's a predator that wants to make some damage to them. So they start moving the arms, they start moving the head, trying to get away. And they're so strong that they can make a lot of damage. Actually, when they close their hands or when they close their mouth, they have some sort of lock system. So, well, those teeth can make a lot of damage. They have a lot of bacteria to help digestion, and they're very, very sharp. So, in case, guys, you ever see one of these guys trying to cross the street, for example, don't touch them. Don't try to cuddle with them because that's gonna be a horrible idea. And probably the one with an accent is gonna be you. So, no, terrible pet, actually.
Terrible pet. Terrible pet.
Yes.
Joss, I'm going to show the results of the Kahoot in just a second. Is that noise coming from something at the ranch or is it on your phone?
I think that's rain, foam, probably. Maybe
Okay.
it's both.
Well, we'll get a little away from that just because it's a little bit loud. It's actually kind of hard to hear you right now. So if you are able to move somewhere where it's a little quieter, that would be lovely as we dive into our Q&A. But what I'm going to do is highlight our Kahoot answers and our finalists before we dive in with our question period. So yes, as you heard, they are terrible pets. In fact, all the animals we feature on Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, not good pets. Get a dog, get a cat, get a fish. Wild animals do belong in the wild and with trained personnel like Joss and the team at the Toucan Ranch. So, folks, let's see. Number one, our winner, Epic Giraffe, has our lead. That is spectacular. Kudos to you. If you are Epic Giraffe, let us know. Looks like Miss Nielsen's class is very excited, so I'm assuming they are in there. Way to go, folks, as we dive in. Now, unfortunately, as we are about to go into Q&A, Joss has disappeared again, so hopefully she's just getting into a little bit of a better area. I will bring her back on as soon as she comes back, so fingers crossed our connection lasts for an epic Q&A. While we're waiting, I'm going to highlight toucanrescueranch.org at Toucan Rescue Ranch. There is so much to explore and discover on their social media pages, their website, and more. They do such incredible work to rescue wildlife, rehabilitate it, and bring it back to the wild. And in fact, our classes over the 10 years have raised over $5,000 in adopting sloths and other animals at the Toucan Ranch. So it's a really, really special place. It's such a privilege to get to feature them every single month. So if you're keen on them, please do stay tuned for our newsletter. There'll be more with them very shortly. I'm just gonna hold on for like a minute more. We'll see how we go, and fingers crossed we get Joss back in a second. It's actually the first time in a very long time we've had them disappear. So let's knock on wood that we can get them back for our big Q&A session. And I will note that if for whatever reason her connection has entirely died, what I will do is set up something for all you teachers to take all your questions, and we'll get them to the Toucan Rescue Ranch team and answer them after the broadcast. Because of course, we want to have a nice long Q&A together over the next 25 minutes. YouTubers, too, please do write your questions down. We'll see what we can get to in our next little bit. I have quite a few answers myself, but I want to make sure we leave it with our Toucan team. So give me 2 quick seconds and pull tight. I'll see if we can get them back, and if they can't come back in 2 minutes or so, we'll take your questions all online. Very, very sorry to do that. They're trying to switch phones right now. I'm getting frantic texts from everybody. So let's what can we highlight while we're doing that? Well, let's see. I will note for anyone who's joining us now, we are just putting out another newsletter very, very shortly with some amazing broadcasts, not just next week, but the week after into early October. We've got some other live animal interactions. In fact, next Monday, we go live at the Duke Lemur Center, where there'll be lemurs leaping around the forest in North Carolina. It's one of the most special partnerships we have. In about an hour, we're going live with Kilo Moana, an amazing ship off the coast of Hawaii, doing epic research in one of the most special oceanic regions on this planet. So lots to check out and discover there. And of course, we have a whole amazing series with Ocean Wise next week. So if you're interested in kelp, Arctic animals, whales, sea otters, polar bears, and more. Everything is coming next week. You can check all of that out at exploringbythesea.com. All right. I'm getting more text, so hopefully back very, very soon. They're finding another phone. First time in a while. But thank you guys all for participating in our Kahoot too. It is so nice to have you involved in that way. And it looks like I stalled long enough. We did it. I think we're back. we're kind of back. Josh, welcome back.
Hi, sorry, the internet is not my best friend today, apparently. But
No.
here we're back.
So we're back, but we still got the really loud knocking happening.
Yes.
Where we can't really hear you, and that's going on.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that you hear me and that you see this lovely face around here. So where were we?
I think we'd rather, even if we don't have the sloth on camera, we'd rather get away so we can hear you again, because this is really, really loud.
All right. So I will try to see maybe we can check the babies, and I will go inside so I get away from the rain. That would be a better idea, maybe.
That would be great. It might actually just be your phone. I don't know if that.
Okay, let me check.
Well, what we'll do, Joss, is if you want to go check out with the babies, we'll see them at least. And if we can't hear you for Q&A, then what we'll do is, I was telling the classes, we'll make sure that we can get all the questions to you virtually, and you guys can answer after the fact. We'll make sure all those answers get back to our classes by, say, Monday at the latest. Worst case scenario if we can't get the connection going. But let's check out our babies.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we've got the big knocking, so it's very challenging to hear you.
All right, good. Good to know that you hear me.
Let's check out our babies and say hello to them a little bit. I apologize, classes, I know it's a little loud, but we'll take a quick note from Josh, and then we'll probably wrap up after that, okay?
Yes.
Let's see. So how many babies do you have right now? What's going on?
That's a great question. So here we are in elementary school. This structure that you see right now is elementary. And well, I was told today in the morning that in elementary school, almost, let's say almost high school, we have right now 12 babies. So here you will see, I think, 8 of them. Many, many faces. I know some of them, others, to be honest, I am not the nanny, but maybe I can call the nanny so she can tell me who is who, so you can get to know them. So here, the babies, actually right now with the babies in elementary, around 12, but in total with the babies that we have in nursery, we have around 33 babies actually. So we have a lot of orphan babies, unfortunately, right now. We're trying to do our best to help them. And well, hopefully these guys will have a second chance to go back to nature very, very soon.
Fantastic. Well, Josh, what we'll do there is I'm actually going to, I'll mute you guys, and we'll see our baby for a quick goodbye. I am sorry that the text proven difficult, everybody. Sometimes this happens when you go live in some pretty amazing places. But what we'll do is, please do write your questions down. I'm going to email all our registered classes, YouTubers, StreamYard alike. We'll take all your queries. We'll get the ranch team to answer your questions, and hopefully we can have them back on very, very soon with a bit of a better phone. So Joss, thank you so much. I'm going to say farewell to our class as well. Apologies that it has to come to this, but Miss Nielsen, Miss McIntosh, our Linwood Public School crew, Baker third graders, Miss Fisher, Mr. Johnson class, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and we will say bye for now. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. Glad to have you over here, and hopefully